Konnichiwa everyone. Got a real simple project for you today, sort of an afternoon project if you will. What I've got here are some Japanese chisels, and if you know anything about me, I really do like Japanese stuff, and Japanese woodworking is one of the things I enjoy doing. So what we're going to do today, I've got this awesome chisel that I traded for with a friend of mine. So this is kind of a no-name brand. I'm not exactly sure who made it, but it's a nice blade. It's got some good steel to it. Japanese chisels are kind of interesting because they are kind of this combination of a couple of different things. Typically, in a lot of Western woodcraft, you'll see a tang chisel, which is a very long, straight tang that goes into a hole in the handle. And you'll also see a socket chisel, which is just, an open socket that you stick the handle into. Japanese chisels are kind of a combination of both. So you do have a shorter and thicker tang with a small socket, or hoop, not a hoop, what's the word for this? Ferrule. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. This is a hoop, not this thing. So you have a ferrule here that fits over the tang, so you have a combination of a tang and a socket chisel, which is kind of cool. Japanese chisels are pretty tough customers. I mean, I haven't really had one break on me, even with a really crappy handle that I've made. So what I want to do today is I want to walk you through making a handle for this guy. This is going to be kind of a general use, sort of medium to heavy duty chisel. So for the handle on this, we're going to go pretty heavy duty and pretty beefy. I have this really cool piece of black locust, and this stuff, if you know anything about these trees, this is not a friendly tree in the least. So we're going to cut this guy off right around here. It's going to be a good bit of wood to use for that. When you're making a handle for things, you usually want to have a lot of extra wood, because if you make a mistake, you need to start over. So let's get at it. This should be a pretty easy project. Like I said, this will be one of those afternoon projects. So if you start in the morning, you should be able to finish it in the afternoon. So let's get at it, and let's see what we can come up with this. So I'm really only after the straight-ish portion here, so I think right around there. That ought to do just fine. Alright, so that's going to be a nice little handle there. Maybe I could just leave it that thick. World's thickest chisel handle, but it should work out fine. It's going to do some carving. We're going to use this end, I think, to run the hole and the tang, as well as the ferrule on, so it should be fine. But yeah, this stuff's pretty beefy, pretty heavy. Even sawing that was pretty tough, so I don't know how much work we got ahead of us, but hey, every journey begins with a single tiny stumble. So not having a lathe makes this a little bit more complicated, but what I'm basically going to do is I'm going to create two parallel surfaces, and I'm going to center that based on those two. So basically I got one going here. The primary concept of this is to make sure that I've got this drilled actually dead center, because I don't want this to come out and have it be all, canted left and right like that. That would not be a good chisel. So basically just going to plane this down until I get a decent thickness on both sides there, and then I'm going to reference the center off of those two sides. Might work, might not, but here's to adventure. Alright, so we've come to the one part that I'm really the most afraid of. We are going to cut the hole for the tang on this. The tang is slightly tapered, so what I'm going to do to make sure we get a good tight fit is I'm going to do a thicker portion at the top, thinner portion at the bottom. So rather than drill a small hole first, I'm actually going to do the larger one first and then use the bit point here as the pilot for the small hole. The real trick with this is I got to get this perfectly aligned, and that's something I'm really bad at, but we're going to give it a shot. If we got to start over, it's not a big deal. I have a ton of other wood that will work for this. Let's see what happens. And as is tradition, I have on my OSHA approved flip-flops. One thing I just realized I should have done, should have flagged the bit so that I only go as deep as that, but it's not a real big deal. Alright, time to check our progress. Let's see, not quite deep enough, methinks. Nope, not quite. Okay, let's see what kind of test fit we got so far. Oh yeah, not bad. It's decently in line. Alright, so a little more fitting, and this is actually flush. There was a tiny little crack somewhere. I thought I saw one, but not too worried about it. So now that I've got this set flush, I'm actually just going to trace around this. So this is going to be our reference for the ferrule. This is coming along very nicely. Usually it does not go this smoothly. There's always some sort of weird problem or complication for it. Alright, so we're just working our way around here. little cut at a time. Try not to go too deep on that. You don't want to take off more than what you need to. The evening sun does not make this any more enjoyable because it is hot. About 98 today. Alright, a little bit of progress later, and all we're going to be doing here is getting that ferrule tapping on a little bit with a nice little plastic hammer, and we're going to pull it back off and see, well, if we can pull it back off. Come on, Bessie. Needs a little bit of a touch from an encouragement device, I think. Oh, come on. Really? There we go. Alright, so as you can see, we got some ridges there where this thing is digging in on the high spots, so we're just going to come back through and work our way down, cut down the high spots, and as soon as we get a good tight fit, we're going to see if we can get a blade in here along with the ferrule. See what kind of join we have. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see, so we're just going to kind of rinse and repeat here with this. Yeah, it's getting there. Let's see what we got. I've been whittling at this for a good while now. Wait a minute. There we go. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that is not too bad. A little bit of an overhang there, but I'm not too worried about that. I think what I might do, I might grind down this one corner of the ferrule right here when it's all said and done. Get that to sit a little bit more flush. Kind of got to work with what you got in this case. There's quite a bit of meat left on that I can work with, so that's going to turn out straight, even though it's not perfectly straight right now. If I had a lathe, this would be quite a lot easier, but I don't, so... Alright, so sometime later, we've got a nice shaped handle here. So I'm just going to hit it with the finger condom just to kind of take down some of these ridges, but other than that, a little bit of scraping, and then I'm going to cut it to length, and we should be good to go with this. Now the overall goal whenever you're making a handle for these things is to get it just a little bit outside of the size of your hoop there, so you can see how close we are with this one. I'm going to cut this a little bit shorter because that's a little bit too long for most general tasks, but it really doesn't matter what length you have it. If you like longer handles, make them longer. If you like them shorter, make them shorter. So we are pretty much on track to make this thing really, really nice. Got just enough meat there to get inside the hoop. I might need to take this down a little bit farther, but you can always do that at a later date. I'm going to get this hoop fit, and we might do some setup, just see how I feel once it's all said and done. Alright, that hoop is on there good and tight. It's a little shallow. I might back it off and make it go a little deeper later on, but for now I think it's okay. Next step is I got to get rid of this little tiny burr right there. It didn't quite line up perfect, but that's okay. Nothing a file can't take care of. Alright, so other than doing the final setup on the hoop, this guy is all sharpened up, ready to go. I am very happy with how that handle turned out. It feels really good in the hand. It's nice and chunky. Get a good firm positive grip on that. Thank you guys so much for watching, especially to the patrons on Patreon. You guys know who you are. If you feel like supporting the channel, make sure you check out the link to the Patreon account in the description box down below. As always, hope you guys have an awesome day. Arigato gozaimasu. Sayonara. So it might have been a really hot day and really humid, but one of my firm beliefs is that you should try to enjoy all the little things in life. And that includes having a nice view of the sunsets from a third floor apartment. Have a great day, guys.